movement that you spearheaded with Little John, the
Mm-hmm.
Yang, all those brothers that came along with that movement
Mm-hmm.
introduced the world to a very young T.I.
Right.
It did.
Yeah.
Because before that, we weren't aware,
Nobody
not
knew.
us all the way up here.
Right.
We
Mm-hmm.
weren't aware.
And Tip
Right.
says it all the time.
Yeah. Tip says it. Yeah.
But you would do that on your interviews too.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. I would. And to your point, thank you for saying that. To your point, when I was up, I knew that once again, I knew that it took a team of people to create greatness. I wanted to show that Black people could work together, those that deserve to work together, and those that understand what it looks like to be a
Mm.
team. We could work together as a people and have fun together and make money together. So it took everything for me to, well, it didn't take everything. It's just my nature
Mm-hmm.
to sacrifice my own career for the betterment of Atlanta and for the betterment of my southeastern part of the United States. I was determined to make sure that everybody knew who John was. John already was all out though, but who Tip was, who Killer was, who David Banner was, who the Yin Yang Twins was, who the Young Bloods were. I was determined to make sure that in every interview I was mentioning um, them in some capacity, along with myself. A lot of times people are like, yo, Bone, man, so what's going on? I said, man, everything's good, man, but make sure y'all look out for Tip. Y'all look out for Killer. Y'all look out for David Banner. Y'all look out for Yin Yang Twins. It's going to be crazy, man. This South shit real, right? So much that we end up doing a cover together for The Source.
Mm-hmm. Shout
And
out to the
yeah,
source.
and I ran into
Hip Hop
Kim,
Bible.
right, right. And I ran into Kim, the lady that did the actual article at the BET Awards last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I said, "Yeah, yeah." She was the one that stepped to me about it, and John and Banner about it, about doing the cover because we were so together on everything at that moment because it was necessary for the Atlanta, it was necessary for the South for us to be together. And they were great friends, and we wanted to make sure that people realized the South had something really, really going on.
I've had something to say.
Yeah, well, that part too. Yeah, but we definitely had some things that we were on, man. And I wanted to make sure that I was really the spearhead for all that. I wanted to make sure that people, not to toot my own horn, but I was making sure that everybody was good, for real. I was getting people jobs. I was getting them work. I was making sure they could, you know, hey man, you do this concert. Hey man, make sure you hire this guy to do the concert. All right, boom. At the time, only person that was bigger than me was 50 Cent,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I took all of my up top power I could, a little bit I had, and I wanted to make sure that everybody in New York, New Jersey, whole tri-state knew that we had something coming, and we respected hip hop, right? For many years, I've always thought the separation would be a problem for our people. It's always been that way,
Mm-hmm.
that we never respected, that people didn't respect each other. And the first thing I would always do in my interviews, I would always say how I respected the founding fathers of our music. Um, I would go all the way back, Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five. I go with the Funky Four plus one more, and I go all. I'm going all the way back, right? Sugar Hill Gang,
Mm-hmm.
Run DMC, and that's to me was what it was all about, and that's what got me to where I am, man. Shouts out to Curtis Blow.
Mm.
What's crazy, man? Mr. C was the first person. DJ Mr. C was the first DJ to bring me to New York to perform, man. And shouts out to him, man. He was like, "Yo, this record, bro, is crazy, man. You gotta see how people go crazy when I play
What
it
was
at the
that
clubs.
like?
It was insane. I was so shocked, because we had this perception in Atlanta that New York people didn't like us, right? Which was a fucking lie.
Yes.
Like black people shit.
We
Exactly.
do.
Me and her went back and forth about this earlier.
Right,
Wow.
Yeah.
right.
You know, and
We
I
We
had-
was
did.
trying to explain to her that you know wasn't the case. It was a perception that somehow was been put out there,
Right.
and it's played in hip hop all the way to this day.
Isn't
They
that
Right.
crazy?
try to keep us
Separate.
separated or
Right.
something. It's you know, the New York hated the South or something like that. Like that is not true. You know
No,
what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
true at all.
I said we always appreciated that music that came from there. If it's good, it's good.
Good.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
If it's good, it's good.
That's
You
real.
know, and that's what it was. And A-Ball MJG.
Right.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Legendary.
The Dayton family.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
You
did the
know,
documentary.
yeah,
We did
exactly.
documentary on Dayton
Come
family.
on, yeah, you know,
Nice.
Shoestring.
yeah. It's so many groups I could go on and on. What's my guy name from Pimp C and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bun B?
UGK,
You know
UGK,
what I'm saying?
UGK, yeah.
Oh, legends, you
Right.
know.
Absolutely.
As soon as you heard them, you knew they were legends. It's
Right.
just that we wasn't exposed to a lot of the music.
Absolutely.
You know, I was like, what I used to do was when I would be in Georgia, I would drive around and I would play all the New York music
Right.
Okay.
because they didn't know. They didn't in 1990. I try to explain that in 1995, 96. They didn't know who Mobb Deep was.
Mm-mm.
They didn't really know who
Not like that.
Nas was.
Yeah.
They
No.
didn't. They didn't hear Jay-Z until he did the song with Pimp C. You know, and the Big Pimpin'. So it was that we wasn't exposed to a lot of each other, and then you
Right.
had somebody painting some type of picture that they don't like y'all up north, and you know, and that was a terrible narrative that I think is painted to today.
Right.
You know, Master P whole movement was like
Whoa.
we loved Bout It. We
Yeah.
loved all of that. We loved especially my Texas boys, my short guy,
Bushwick Bill.
Bushwick
the
Bill,
Ghetto
Oh,
yeah.
Ghetto
Boys.
Boy. Ghetto Boy.
Mom
Boys.
playing tricks
Yeah,
on
yeah,
me, all that
Scarface,
stuff.
Willie D.
Scarface, Willie D.
Rest
We
in
loved
peace,
that
Bushwick,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bushwick was my guy.
Right,
I
right, right,
had
right,
every
right.
Bushwick album. I mean,
Right.
that was, you know, my guy, you know. So I think that was just the narrative that was painted and been painted for a long time that, you know, we shouldn't allow to happen. Is no one in New York that don't have family that don't come from down south somewhere. So
Right.
We all came from the
yeah,
South.
exactly. So yeah, you know, it's a narrative that's kind of ugly.
And
Yeah.
I think the radio stations definitely didn't show the support to anyone outside. Even if you was an artist in Jersey or Connecticut, you basically had to kick the door in of New York radio.
Right.
Because it took so long for hip hop to even get a place on the radio at
Right.
that time.
Right.
Hip hop was only being played at night,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
for a very long time.